What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. On the left side here, we see Ryzeal Mitsurugi going up against Brandon Despia. Two decks that are going to be very good. You know, Brandon has fallen off a little bit, but still a very powerful deck we see with lots of crazy cards. We are going to be seeing a die roll with Brandon Despia and winning the die roll. Going to be choosing to go first. And before we dive in, over to like, comment, shop, channel a lot. We're on the road to 10K, we need support. But we're going to be seeing Brandon Despia just pass turn on this. Not looking too hot. We're going to be seeing Ryzeal be on the draw, and now we have a battle phase to potentially be able to get just a game right away. We do see some Bestials in the hand, so if this was the Fiendsmith variant, it would be going pretty hard. We're going to see the X being pushed summon out by dumping the Duel drive, and then we're going to get to activate the effect of the X, allowing us to summon out or search for the sword. Sword's going to summon itself out, and then that's going to allow us to search for an Ice Ryzeal, which is going to be the best normal summon that we can have here. And we can now go up into a second Duel drive if we want to attach the other Duel drive to have that negate, but we have to remember that we do have a battle phase this turn, so we're going to go directly into a we're going to go for the Duel drive. So we definitely don't go for a detonator. We're going to go for the Duel drive in attack position here, which is going to equip the other Duel drive and then activate the effect, allowing us to detach. And we should detach, the Duel drive and the sword, making it so that we just leave the X onto the field underneath that Duel drive, so we have less available Bestial targets here. We do see the Cross and Note, I believe, being searched, and then we get to summon out the Mitsurugi guy. We're going to normal summon out, which is going to let us search for the Ultra Ritual card, which is going to allow us to ritual from the deck or from our hand by sending cards from the deck or sending cards from the deck. Very cool. This card does work. We're going to be seeing the Mitsurugi going to be activated here, and we're not going to tribute to get both effects there, so we're going to be adding only. And we do add the Ritual to our hand, so now we have both pieces of that puzzle, the Ritual as well as the Ritual spell. Going to be sending those Ritual cards from the deck to essentially Ritual summon from the hand, which you cannot Ash, I believe. Yeah, you cannot Ash that card. You have to Ritual summon from the deck to Ash it there. So we are going to be seeing the Ritual be activated, summoning itself out, and then we're going to be dumping both copies, one of the Fire, one of the Dark. I think they're actually both Dark, but you know what I mean. And then on summon of the Mitsurugi, it is going to be able to be Raigeki the whole entire field. And it can negate a card or effect by making your opponent discard a card. A very cool interaction. I do like the fact that it can activate and resolves that way by making them discard a card or it gets negated. I really do think that interaction, like that negate type of pattern, is really nice. Because it does let you decide when you want to do it and how important it is. And if they can even discard those cards. We are going to be seeing the Ritual spell being added back, and then we're going to activate it once again, Ritual summoning the other guy from the deck by using the Ritual on the field. And because we Ritual summoned because we tributed off the Ritual guy, he's going to be able to summon himself back out. And we do chain the Sorenir here on that monster. And then we do attempt to chain a Nibiru. They have to essentially detonate or cross negate the Nib, but we're going to be seeing them still lose that Mitsurugi Ritual here. And we're seeing that Sorenir being placed in the spell and trap card zone. Or not in spell trap zone. We're searching for the trap here. We're summoning in defense position. I don't know why I said that. But the trap is also in Omni, which is pretty cool. But we have lots of cards in our hands and not that much going on from the branded player. Now we have to make sure that we have a way to get game here, or else we're going to have to play into a Nibiru next turn as well. So we're going to summon out the Node, and then we're going to be overlaying those into a copy of the Evil Twin. Evil Twin's going to be sent by Node to summon out the X, or summon out the Sword there, just to play around some more of the Bestials. And then we are going to be seeing the X going to activate, or the Evil Twin going to activate effect, summoning out the Duo Drive attached to the Druid Drive here. And we're now going to go up into a Detonator. And then Detonator can attach the Evil Twin once again. And we have a whole lot that we can do. I don't know if this is necessarily going to be exactly game, because we can't attack numerous times, but it is going to be quite hard for Brandon to beat this. We're going to see Sorenir being attacked over, and then we're going to be seeing Sorenir effect to dump, and dumping most likely the Retribution to the graveyard here in case that we do get to start adding back. We want to also make sure that we do not have those bad draws in our deck. Like drawing that Retribution can definitely be unfortunate for us. We're going to see the Duo Drive do a little bit of damage as well as the Detonator here. I think dealing a grand total of 57 damage here, which is a lot. And we then can set one card, which is going to be the negate, and then Cross will not be able to put back because we don't have enough, unfortunately, but we do see the damage coming in a little bit late. But we're going to be sending the Dual Drive off ice, and then we're going to go up into the Sword, and then we go up into a Dweller here. We are playing as Branded, which is going to be pretty good. You know, stopping like tragedies and stuff like that can be definitely impactful as well. But we then can go for the Cross, putting back to draw additional card. And like we do have enough going on for us here. We have the Duo Drive, we have an Abyss Dweller, we have the Trap as well, which is going to be in the gate. And like they already opened up a brick, so like it's not going to make that much of a difference. We're going to be seeing the Abyss Dweller in the draw phase of the next turn, and they do activate Lubellion here. And then we are going to be letting this go, I'm going to assume, or we're going to Cross negate it, but we can't detach from Abyss Dweller, if I'm pretty sure. It has to be a Ryzeal monster, but it's not going to make that much difference. Yeah, it has to be a Ryzeal XYZ. Not that it's going to make that much of a difference. We can detach off of the Detonator. We do see the Thrust searching for Branded Fusion now. But Branded Fusion will be able to be negated by the Trap card that we have set. And we have the Ash anyway, so it's not going to make any difference. We scoop it up here, and the game is going to be won by Ryzeal Mitsurugi. I mean, yeah, you can't detach from Abyss Dweller. We would have detached from the Detonator, which will still have 2 detaches afterwards. So it's not going to make that much of a difference in the long scheme of things, especially after we just scoop it up. But Ryzeal ended up taking game 1. Yeah, when you end up passing turn after winning the die roll, chances are you're not going to win that game. Especially against like Ryzeal Mitsurugi, giving them an additional card at battle phase. And having nothing really good in hand, it's going to be hard enough to beat them with a good hand, let alone a bad one. So hopefully we will be able to make do with a better hand in game 2 while we're going to go first once again. And now we know what our opponent is playing against, so we can actually side correctly as well, which is important that, you know, when you do have your siding patterns down pat, you will have the advantage. Siding is so crazy in Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, it's one of the best parts of the game. But we look like we're playing a 60 or a 50 card deck. I'm not exactly sure. I know Grass is Greener is in the deck. Unfortunately, it is only at 1. I wish the TCG would have brought it back to 2. It wasn't doing anything. I think the only decks that could take advantage of it is Infernoids and Branded. And both decks are not doing anything right now. And the format is so diverse already that if we just got to play those like power cards, I feel like it'd just make it a lot more fun as well. Especially when you look at like Infernoids. Inferno gets hit with the same thing that Malice gets hit with. You don't really care about like having that deck run around. Sometimes it will get games, but at the same time, Lancia and the Meowth kind of both FTK that deck, so it's like it would be fine to play, to be honest. I guess if it was you playing like the Fiends and stuff in it as well, it gets a little bit hectic, but still, it's a pile deck after all, and you can brick with those. We're going to be seeing a normal summon of Aluber in game 2, searching for that Branded Fusion, and then we are going to be seeing a Droll and Lockbird being hit on resolution here. This is going to be absolutely huge. We do go talents to look at the hand, and we see a Druisworm, Nibiru, Bonfire, and the Spell. So we do take out that Druisworm, leaving this a Nib in the hand to kind of continue playing. Bonfire going to be a starter for next turn as well, and having the Mitsurugi card is going to let us go through. Now we do activate the Branded Fusion, not afraid of Ash at all here. We're going to be sending the Lubellion as well as the Albaz to go up into the Albion, and then Albion will be able to use the Aluber as well as the Albaz in. Or we're just not going to activate the effect at all. We're going to summon with the Cartesia instead, and then we're going to go Lubellion, summon out, dumping the Albion. Not choosing to activate Albion is interesting here. We're going to go for the Lost off of the Lubellion. And then we activate Grass. And we were wondering how many cards we're going to be dumping from the deck here. This might be the first time I've ever seen a Grass kind of resolve. So we're going to be dumping 15 cards. We see another Lubellion and a Sorenir, as well as a Tikaboo, a Foolish, a Retribution, an Albion, which now counts as an Aluber, and we see an Dear Servant as well, and it looks like a Driver. We're going to be seeing Sorenir going to be able to dump a card, which can add itself back to the hand because we do have the Retribution in the graveyard. We're dumped a Branded Sword in this case. And our graveyard is now fully loaded. We have the Albion in the graveyard, which can activate its effects, allowing us to dump another copy. So we're dumping the Albaz, which is going to count there. And yeah, they can do this under Duel and Lockbird because it does not have the ability to draw while it's in the graveyard. They could not activate it in the hand, which is important. You know, if they had like activation in hand and like they sent it to the graveyard with like High Spirits, you would not be able to do that because you cannot activate the effect of, you can't even attempt to activate the effect in the hand. Now in the graveyard, it doesn't have the ability to draw, so it's going to be perfectly legal. They do have to call a judge over for asking of this. I do come over and I say, hey, well, we're going to pick up the card, and we take the second to read the card, making sure. And if you look at the Albion effect, it does state that if it's in the hand, it draws a card. If it's not in the hand, it does not draw a card. It's not even an attempt to draw a card. It's different. And if it was in the hand, you do draw a card. So we will be able to activate that effect there on the Duel and Lockbird because it does not have the ability to draw a card in this case. So that is going to be fun. Even if it didn't have the effect, we would still be fine because it is going to be considered an Albaz in the graveyard. So if like Brandon and Red, it's going to be pretty nice. But having the Albaz being able to be added back to the hand and counted as an Albaz with Brandon and Red is going to be like the super important part. We're going to go Retribution here. And it's going to add us back that Branded in Red. And then we can go for the Cartesia adding itself back. And then we're going to activate, and we are going to target the Albaz, using the Albaz and the Aluber to go into the Lubellion. Lubellion will be able to discard the Cartesia, and that's going to allow us to go for a Mirror Jade by putting back the Albaz and Lubellion. And then we are going to be seeing the Lubellion, or the Albion in the graveyard, going to activate the effect, allowing us to set a Branded Opening in the end phase here. And we are going to pass turn on this. So we have Cartesia alongside Branded Opening, which can discard the card in our hand to allow us to summon with a Quem. And then we can start playing that way as well. You know, because we're going to be able to grab Grangadon and stuff like that. We see the Bonfire, which is going to allow us to search for an Ice or an X Ryzeal, depending on which one we go for. We do go for the X here, which can send Meteorologic to negate a card on the field, which is absolutely important in this case. We can send the Meteorologic, negating the Lost or the Mirror Jade. And the Deuce does not start a chain, so we're going to now go Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, and we can go Chainlink 3, Mirror Jade, but we're going to Chainlink. I'm not even sure what we're doing here. We're Chainlink 4, Baldrake, Chainlink 5, Opening, Chainlink 6. Wait, Chainlink 1, X, Chainlink 2, Meteorologic, Chainlink 3, Baldrake, Chainlink 4, Opening, Chainlink 5. We're going to be doing Mirror Jade, sending these Sprins. And then we're going to be banishing X. We're going to be banishing Meteorologic. They're going to be summoning out Quem. And then we're going to be seeing X resolve. summoning out Sword, and then Sword and X will both be able to activate there. Yeah, we add it to the hand. Yeah, we don't get to summon it out here. So that is important to note. We're going to go dumping the Retribution. So we are playing 2 Retribution, which makes sense. We're most likely on a 60 card build. We're then going to go for the Cartesia. You're going to be using the Mirror Jade alongside itself to go into the Grand Gaganol. And then we're going to be able to activate the effect of Grand Gaganol, Quem, and Lost, bringing out that Mirror Jade alongside dumping and searching for that Mercurier here. And we dump. We should be dumping from the extra deck. Like dumping a copy of Albion definitely would make some sense there. Or we could also dump the Tentaclad to summon out the Albaz if we wanted to as well. That could potentially be an option. We're going to dump for a Sorenir. Sorenir can then dump another card, dumping potentially the High Spirits from the deck, which can then add itself back, I believe, during the end of the turn. Yeah. So we do that there. And then we have Mirror Jade live as well as the Mercurier. We're going to go for the Mizuguri spell, which can allow us to add the one from the hand, to the hand, I should say. Not in the hand. We're going to see them a normal summon of that, activating the effect. They're going to negate it with the Mercurier. And then we scoop it up, realizing the game is going to be lost. And we see Brandon end up taking up game 2 here with the slow play, getting us into Mirror Jade, double Mirror Jade, and Mercurier. I mean, that's just the power that Brandon has. Like, if you have it in the correct hands and having the correct lines, if you know your lines, you are going to be able to win these games. You don't have to take the fast combo wombo approach. You can just play a slow approach and just slowly whittle down your opponents. We saw there, it was a very low ceiling combo, but it was able to do quite a lot there, especially with the follow-up. The follow-up was going to be absolutely insane. We would add High Spirits back. We would add the Cartesia back. We would have the Albaz being able to be added or summoned off the Sprint. And then, of course, we have the Grand Gaganol as well as Quem, Lost, and stuff like that all going to be available. And the Retribution Engraver to add back that second copy of Branded Fusion, allowing us to play it once again during opponent's turn. So we see Mirror Jade kind of end up being goated here. I love Mirror Jade, and I know that the player here, shout out to Justin, he's from OCG playing, now in the TCG, he has come over. A very good Branded player, and we're glad to have him at our locals and showing us the power of Branded still to this day. Honestly, an amazing player. It's amazing to see different players from around the world be able to play and how they play so differently. And yeah, I mean, the first time he ended up playing, he played his OCG Branded deck versus my TCG Branded deck, and oh my god, he smoked me. He showed me the power of Max C, bro. I was sacked. It was awesome. I love it. Even though I lost the game, it was very much a learning experience, and I loved it so much. Being able to play those different kind of variants, and now he's taking the TCG out of Storm, playing extremely well. We are going to be diving into game 3 here with the Mizuguri Ryzeal deck going first, activating a bonfire right away. We do see a hand full of green from Branded, most likely not going to be full of hand traps, but that's going to be pretty normal. We get to see the X going to be summoned out by dumping the Duo Drive once again. That's going to be searching for the Sword. We then can summon out the Sword here, and that's going to allow us to activate the effect, allowing us to search for the Ice. And yeah, cutting off that X the last turn, making there was no Ryzeal in the graveyard or in the field, so that Sword cannot summon itself out. It's absolutely just huge. You see a lot of times we just slap it down on the field because we know it's going to be next line, but in those slower game states, it is going to be absolutely huge. We're going to see them make a King of the Feral Imps, and then Feral Imps going to activate the effect, allowing us to search our deck for the Mizuguri Fire Guy looking one there. But they are dark still, which is important. We do take a second to read Cross, and it's important that Cross does not negate monster effects without detaching from a Ryzeal. Very important. We do see the normal summon of that fire looking one. That's going to activate its effects, allowing us to search our deck here for the trap card. So maybe already having access to both the cards that we need. And we do overlay up into the Evil Twin here. And then we summon out the Ice by sending the Evil Twin to the graveyard. And that's going to allow us to activate the Evil Twin, allowing us to equip the King of the Feral Imps and the Duo Drive here. And it looks like we have a Bestial on the King of the Feral Imps. Is it a dark target? There's no way. It is a dark. Okay, so that's going to be able to cut off the Mitsurugi package, and this is going to be huge in this case because now we don't have the way to search for the second reptile here. Now, Baldrake isn't going to be the best by itself because we have to have another monster on the field to kind of tribute off, unfortunately, but we are going to be putting back with Cross, allowing us to draw one, and will this be enough? We're going to see a Talents, and Talents will allow us to draw two. Now, we don't cut the deck because we did do off Cross already. Now, we could potentially cut the deck and then leave those two cards on the bottom. That could also have been an option there if we really felt like that we needed to cut the deck. But they did draw one off of the Cross earlier anyway, so it's not going to be that much of a difference. It doesn't look like we drew into what we need because we set two cards and a third as well, leaving just one in the hand. But Branded does not have a good time dealing with these interruptions. We are going to be seeing in the draw phase activation of a Branded opening, discarding another opening. Not the greatest, but we are going to be seeing either a Quem or an Aluber being summoned out. Going for that Aluber, activating the Aluber effect, allowing us to search. And this will be met with a strike, paying 15 to essentially say no search for Branded Fusion for you. I mean, strikes are so powerful going first, it's unreal. Do we have anything else to kind of continue? It looks like we have a Branded in red alongside a Lost, perhaps. We're going to see Branded in red targeting the Aluber. Surely it's not a Lost. That looks like a Talents there, but they're thinking on this. It adds back and can fusion summon. Then we're going to go up into the burn card here. I suppose we're playing this over the Queritus. Queritus is no longer really good because of the ability that we can just swarm the field all the time and pop stuff. So we go for the Masquerade. And Masquerade can do a lot in a time predicament that we are in. Like, we are approaching time. They already are down 15. And having to deal with this Masquerade can be problematic unless they have like an Imperm set in the back row. We set two cards ourselves and just pass turn on this. So we are going to be seeing the Cross can activate, paying 5, putting back. Bringing us down to 59, and we do draw a card here. And then we're going to normal summon the Ice, activating the effect, taking another 5. And we let it resolve. So it is going to take us down to 53, and we summon out an X. X can activate the effect, allowing us to search for the sword. But we do take the life points still, 47. Taking us down quite a bit. And what is important is that we have the Ryzeal spell that can make us pay 800 as well here. So we could just lose a game or not be able to activate that effect altogether because we've taken so much off this Masquerade. We are approaching, very close to time being called here. We are going to special summon out the sword, taking another 5. Sword will activate its effects, allowing us to search for that node. And it's important though that the detonator does not kind of clear the Masquerade because we don't just draw, we don't activate the effect of Masquerade, it just happens. So we're going to be seeing the Dugaris activated effects bring us down to 35 here. It's going to allow us to summon out from the graveyard, and we're going to be seeing the effect going to activate, allowing us to search. 29, dealing so much damage here. Searching for that spell that does make us pay if we do not play correctly. We're going to be activating it there. And we do not choose to tribute, therefore we don't have to pay 800. And we're going to search for the ritual monster here. And we are so low on life, it's not even funny. But life points don't matter till hit 0 in this game, as long as you can just beat your opponent. We're going to go for a Tornado Dragon here. Tornado Dragon is going to activate its effects. Paying another 5. It actually might be 600, not 500. And that's the math will be doing it there. I will not be calculating. We see a thrust being hit, and then we do activate the spell, paying another, bringing us down here to that ritual monster. And we're going to be dumping from the deck. And then we're going to be seeing that destroy everything, including that Masquerade. We no longer have to take life points now. But we are down to 500 here. We're going to be seeing the Masquerade going to be trying to bring itself out. They do try to negate with a cross, but we cannot do that. It has to detach from a Ryzeal. So we are going to be seeing the trap going to be bouncing back, or tributing it off to negate it there. And then because it was tributed, it can summon itself back out. And we do have lots of cards in the hand here. But I feel like Brand is going to mint defeat, realizing the game is going to be lost. We summon out a whole bunch of cards. We have Node in the hand, which can summon itself out by sending the Dugaris. Then we can summon out the sword by sending... we summon out the Dugaris. You send Dugaris, summon out the sword, and then we have enough for game. So we are going to be seeing Ryzeal Mitsurugi end up taking it here, being able to attack for game. And unfortunately, Branded just does not have enough gas there through those hand traps. Even though we had like numerous draws, I think we drew like 3 cards during our turn, which was too much to deal with. Regardless, hope you're watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hope you channel a lot, and we'll stay safe. Peace.